What's going on, guys? So the Flash mid-season finale has come and gone, and although it was titled The Present, it should have been called Malfoy and the Philosopher's Stone. This episode was legit, and can I just say that Savitar made Jay his bitch? He was all like, hey bitch, let's go ahead and throw you over here, and kick you over there, and then kick you over there, and throw you right here, and what's up, bitch? And he was just making Jay look like a little bitch. Seriously though, Savitar was making people in this episode look like they're bitches. He made Jay look like a bitch, he made Flash and Wally look like bitches. He was just like, oh, I'm just serving up all the bitches, and you get a bitch, and you get a bitch, and you get a bitch. Like, that is what Savitar was doing, but he still looked lame doing it. I just don't like the freaking metal suit. He's just so bulky and shit, and I don't like it. But I will say that we got a glimpse of what Savitar could look like without his armor, and we know that he was human before he became this. And I said this, but some of you guys are like, no, and whatever. And some of you guys said, maybe it's just armor, we'll get it later. And I am so hoping that we get his other costume later, that once he becomes whole, he just freaking lets go of the armor, and he's all like, I'm Savitar, and he's just like this buff dude. Because if you saw that freaking image, homeboy was cut, and a lot of people, it's rumored that he's actually Colossus from the original X-Men movies, and that dude is still cut. So if it's him and he's freaking Savitar, totally be down for that. Give me his suit and his just buffness and kicking people's ass. Oh man, this show would get so much better. Besides all that, let's go ahead and go back and talk about Jay, because one, we found out that Jay knows about Savitar, and it seems like Savitar is just so immensely powerful that other speedsters on other worlds know about his legends. Jay said he thought he was a myth or something like that, but now he saw him and he got his ass kicked by him, so he knows he ain't no motherfucking myth. Probably my favorite thing about this episode, and we did not, and I repeat, we did not get enough of, was Mark Hamill as the trickster on freaking Earth 3. He looked like the Joker, and this pisses me off that we didn't get to see more of him, and I'm really, really crossing all of my things that we do get to see more of the trickster from Earth 3, because that is the only time we're ever going to be able to see Mark Hamill look like the Joker and do his Joker voice. Because if you guys don't know, Mark Hamill is not only Luke Skywalker from one of the best freaking nerdy franchises ever, no, he is also the Joker, and he is the best Joker ever. I'm saying that, right? Better than Heath Ledger. Who's Heath Ledger? Better than Heath Ledger. Better than Jared Leto. Better than even freaking, what's his name? Cesar Romero. He's better than all the Jokers ever. Mark Hamill is the best Joker ever. And it sucks because we're never gonna see him be able to be the Joker unless they make like a Batman Beyond movie, and we have old freaking Joker and old Batman, and then the rest of the stuff revolves around Batman Beyond. That is the only time I think Mark Hamill will ever be able to be the Joker, and I don't think that's ever gonna happen. But we can make it happen in The Flash if he's the trickster and gets to be the Joker voice. I hope we get an episode where Earth 3 trickster comes to Earth 2 because he just found out about another Flash, so maybe he'll find a way to jump and terrorize that Earth. I don't know, I just want to see it. Now let's go ahead and move over to Malfoy, because we found out that Savitar has been with Malfoy for years. It was like 4 years that he was searching for the Philosopher's Stone, and we know that he's been getting the voices, so we know Savitar has been just preying on Julian for a long time, and we got to see all the craziness of the reveal. Well, it wasn't the reveal. We already knew that he was going to be the Philosopher's Stone, but Barry found out that Julian was Malfoy, and all shit broke loose. We got confirmation that Julian did have a split personality when it came to being, you know, Dr. Alchemy. He doesn't remember anything anytime he is Dr. Alchemy, but he knows that when he comes in contact with the stone, or he can hear Savitar, that he actually remembers it, or he knows that Savitar calls him. So anytime he does anything as Dr. Alchemy, he doesn't remember it, but he did know about Savitar when he was in his Julian state of mind. And we found out Malfoy's origin. He was a freaking archaeologist or whatever he was when he was searching for the stone, or he used his inheritance to freaking make this dig to find the Philosopher's Stone. When they found it, it ended up killing all of the people he was working with, and he fled to the United States to freaking start working on the whole metahuman thing, and that's when Savitar kept calling him and all that jazz. So we know about Julian's origin, and we know that he was trying to save his sister, I believe is what he said. He was trying to save his sister, and that is why he, you know, did what he did. Later in the episode, we got to see Salty Cisco go to Stupid Cisco because he opened the freaking Philosopher's Stone and that caused people to almost die, and Caitlyn had to talk him off the ledge and shit. So Cisco, just please go back to being the cool Cisco and stop being stupid and salty and you just, anything else that starts with an S. Wally ends up helping Barry in this situation, gets his ass kicked like he usually does, and we saw him get his suit at the end of this episode, so it's finally cool that we have Kid Flash officially now. Now we can finally see a bunch of speedsters joining up to fight this one speedster. I have a theory about what's going to happen later on in the season with that, but for right now, it's cool that we get an introduction to Kid Flash, finally. Go ahead and get to the most interesting part of this episode, and that was when Barry went to the future and saw Iris get killed by Savitar, and he was just like, oh! And when you saw that, everybody was like, oh man, let me find my Flash memes! Let me find my freaking best Flash memes! Because the freaking Flash memes are gonna go all crazy because Barry wants to change the timeline again. But Jay Garrick's like, bitch, you better not freaking do that again, alright? Because I'm tired of you changing the freaking timeline. Barry was so ready to be like, I'm gonna go change this. I need freaking Iris to live. He was ready to go do that. But Jay was like, bitch, I'm watching you. I'm telling you, stop doing that. That's why we don't go see our futures, because nobody's able to do that. Everybody starts acting like you. That whole scene was more than likely shocking to you if you were a West Allen lover, but if you're part of Team Patty, you freaking love that scene. You're like, oh yeah, Iris, screw you, Team Patty, Team Patty, Team Patty for the win. Now with that whole death scene that we found out from the future, there was something that I thought was even more interesting, and that was when we saw Savitar talking through Julian with the whole brain thing, and he was like, oh, I'm Savitar. He said 3 things that were super interesting. He said 1 person will betray you, 1 will fall, and 1 will suffer a fate worse than death. Who do you think these people are? Well, we know in the future, from what we just saw in this episode, the one will fall is Iris. It has to be Iris. We saw her just go, wah! She was like, oh, Barry! She is the one that will fall. The one that is going to suffer the fate worse than death has to be Barry, because Barry now has to live with the freaking mindset that Iris is eventually going to die in 6 months or 5 months, however the difference was, she is going to die. So the love of his life, his lightning rod is going to die, so he is going to suffer a fate worse than death. The last one, logically, you would think that Caitlyn will be the one to betray them because she's eventually going to be Killer Frost. What's-his-name vibed them fighting. When she was full-blown Killer Frost, he was full-blown Vibe and he had his suit on and everything. So you would think that it's going to be Caitlyn that will be the one that betrays them because, well, as Savitar, the guy that worked for Savitar said that Savitar had a plan for Caitlyn, so she's more than likely going to be the one that betrays them. I don't know anybody else that could really betray them. You could say it'd be HR, but, I mean, how many times are we going to have Wells betray this team? Like, I know there's been some repeat kind of storylines happening in The Flash in the last recent seasons. I don't think they're going to do that again, so I think it's just going to be that plain and simple. Iris is the one that falls. Barry's the one that suffers the fate worse than death. Caitlyn's going to be the one to betray them. But if you think there's a different scenario that somebody else betrays them, let me know in the comment section down below. But guys, with all of that, with everything we just talked about, freaking Iris dying, Barry going to the future and seeing her die, freaking seeing the trickster from Earth 3, Wally getting his name. With all of that, it still wasn't the biggest thing that happened in this episode. Because the biggest thing that happened in this episode was Barry got some. Him and Iris are like, at the end, and they got a new house, and they're like, That's totally what happened after that whole scene. That's right, our boy has finally become a man. Good on you, Barry. Good on you, man. Time out. If the camera looks like it moved and the scenery's different, it's because it is. Because I was editing this video, and as I was editing it, I got to that part where it said, I'll talk about my speedster theory later. I didn't even talk about that, so I gotta go ahead and refilm it. Anyways, what I was talking about is this is what I think is going to happen at the end of the season, or could possibly happen with all of our speedsters fighting Savitar, and what I think is going to happen to Malfoy at the end of this season. Okay, so we know that there are some freaking photos out there. All the speedsters are going to be together along with Vibe and everybody else. There's just going to be like this whole superheroes versus Savitar thing going down is what I think is going to happen, which is something that I think should happen because, if Savitar Savitar is so great. He should be able to take on all the speedsters at once, and that is something I'm really hoping that was happening. At the beginning of the season, I was kind of hoping it was going to be Savitar versus Rival. No, it was going to be Savitar Rival versus the other speedsters, and it was going to be this super speedster battle. But no, that didn't happen because Rival died already. But this is what I think is going to happen, because Malfoy's a pretty big actor. I mean, whether you like it or not, Malfoy is a huge, well-known person, and that probably means that he's getting a good chunk of change for being on this show. So, that also means I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to stay on this show after this season, and I don't think he's going to be a regular in this show anymore. So meaning, he's more than likely gonna have to leave by his own free will. Like maybe after the season ends, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna go back to freaking London or whatever and go live there. Or he's gonna die, and I think he's going to die, but he's gonna go out in a heroic way. My theory is that Savitar is going to be so powerful that he's gonna be able to fight everybody and kick their asses. He's gonna beat Barry, he's gonna beat Jesse Quick, he's gonna beat Wally. Like all of them are gonna like be able to like do something to hold him down or beat him up. But I think that Malfoy is gonna come out of nowhere and he's gonna sacrifice himself with the Philosopher's Stone, and that is how he's gonna take out Malfoy. He's gonna like put it in his chest or something. He's gonna take out Savitar. Malfoy will take out Savitar is what I meant to say. I think he's gonna get the Philosopher's Stone and somehow use it on Savitar, and that is gonna cause him to die or disappear or get thrown into the Speed Force or whatever. I think it would be better if it was like a sacrifice thing, like he's doing this, like feels like he's atoning for like the stone killing all of his other people, and he feels like that stone has to be destroyed so Savitar doesn't come back anymore and nobody else gets called from Savitar. So they're probably going to want to destroy it with Savitar. He'll more than likely sacrifice himself to do that, and maybe the speedsters hold him down or something. I don't really know. This is how I think it's going to happen. So I think it'll be either he does it and he kills himself in the process and he like, goes out a heroic way, like, I gotta do this, to, repent for my freaking killing my friends or whatever. Or he will just help with killing him with the freaking Philosopher's Stone, and then he'll just end up leaving Star City. It's not Star City, Central City after the season. So that is just what I wanted to talk about theory-wise. I think that Malfoy is going to help out our friends, because you saw at the end of this episode, he's starting to become like, oh, they're good little mates and chums together when he showed up at the Christmas party. So I do think he is going to somehow be a part of this team. He knows Barry's secret identity. Wouldn't be surprised if he starts trying to help the team through the remainder of this season, but I don't think he's going to be in this show past season 3. So they got to do something to get rid of him, whether that be him just leaving or him sacrificing himself, which I think would be the better ending for Malfoy. That'd be kind of cool, because you had that stigma of him always being a bad guy, but this way he could end a hero. That'd be kind of cool, and it would break his whole stigma of always just being the bad guy as an actor. So yeah, that was the theory. Now back to wherever this video picks up. In all seriousness, this was actually a pretty awesome episode, and like I said, I wanted to bring the hype, but I've been hella tired lately, so I didn't want to give you a very bland freaking review of this episode. Sorry it took so long, but hey man, you guys want quality content, sometimes you gotta wait a little bit. And plus, Gotham's been going off. If you're not watching that show, you should be. Anyways, since The Flash is gonna be off for, 2 months pretty much, I want to go ahead and do what I just did with the freaking Gotham review and do a Q&A. So, if you guys have any questions on what you want me to answer about this show and what you think might happen, any theories possibly got, go ahead and leave me your questions and we will do a Flash Q&A. Sorry, I had to burp. But yeah, we will do a Flash Q&A, so just like the rules from the Gotham video, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I'm only going to answer questions from the comments. Don't send me stuff on Twitter or Snapchat or anything like that, because I won't be answering those. Do leave it in the comment section down below, and I will try to answer everything. Don't leave me paragraphs either, because more than likely I won't answer them. Just answer me a simple question. I'll pick some of the best ones, and we'll go ahead and make a video about it. So yeah, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with all your Flash buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time. Bye!